Yo, what's up, YouTube? I can't do this. Hirayasumi is an ongoing manga by Shinzo Keigo that aims to dredge up every mortifying emotion stifled between the ages of 18 and 34. The story centers around two relatives different in every conceivable way. Hiroto, a 29-year-old part-timer doing meaningless work around suburban Tokyo, invites his 18-year-old cousin Natsumi to live with him in the house he inherited from a dead granny he had dinner with a few times. Hiroto is a professional underachiever that can't interact with attractive women his own age without spilling his spaghetti. Here's your obligatory Ryan Gosling image. Natsumi, meanwhile, is a withdrawn university student who's already accepted the lifetime of self-reproach that comes with earning an art degree. Together, these two must navigate the trials of adulthood as Hiroto decides at the onset of 30 to finally get his shit together, while Natsumi vows to fulfill her goal of becoming a manga artist. Will they do it? I don't know. It's not finished yet. I tend to drag things out when I try to summarize my feelings toward a manga I enjoy, so I'll give you the conclusion straight this time. If you are anywhere between that hellish age range of graduating high school and the wrong side of 30, you need to read Hirayasumi. If you're a fumbling college kid running from responsibility, a woebegone wagey with no goals for the future, or a newly married parent coping with the reality that you now have to live for more than just yourself, there will be at least one character in this manga whose story will parallel your own and make you reevaluate the state of your entire life. Fuck. I feel like I've been everyone in this manga at one point or another. Not literally though, because I'm not Japanese, which means if I had a baby, it would not be as hideous as this thing. Hirayasumi is about confronting uncertainty and making peace with the ambivalent disorder that haunts a person from the onset of adulthood to the plodding lethargy that arises during their middle age. Fears of situating yourself in a career, pressures to marry and make babies, and lingering regrets over straying from a path you thought you weren't meant to be on, are all accounted for in this extremely down-to-earth take on the coming-of-age formula. Hiroto and Natsumi may have a football team's worth of issues to tackle, but every friend they make or figure from their past that they're struggling to stay connected with are undergoing their own hurdles behind an easygoing facade. Hiroto's love interest Tachibana, for instance, is a successful working-class woman able to afford her own living expenses through her job as a real estate agent. However, she's also 33 years old and still single, watching her dwindling number of old friends move on and leave her to wonder how much her independence is worth. She's too busy keeping her shit together to get her shit together. Not too dissimilar from Hiroto's old friend from high school, Hideki. Hideki's story is the saddest thing ever fucking drawn. And that's because it's a story unfolding for millions of people at any given time. Despite having a wife, a kid, a well-paying job, and the sexiest face ever sculpted by God, Hideki is suffering inside. His employers mistreat him, his need to feel like a good dad causes his health to slip drastically, his bachelor best friend seems way happier than he is, and he can't stop thinking back to his days as a teenager when he and Hiroto goofed around making amateur short films, dreaming of becoming major players in the film industry. Yeah, that's just me, minus the family. All of these factors become too much for Hideki's shoulders to bear, pushing him to the point of daydreaming about skyscraper diving, a point that many of us have likely visited before. It's okay though, because at the end of the day, he still has a best friend like Hiroto to confide in and turn to for advice when it really matters. Oh god, he blocked him! What the fuck? Oh, damn it, I have done that before. The blocking of a friend who's living a better life than you are. Oh god, this is a brutal read. This manga has some of the most human moments you will ever see on paper. I understand that saying something seems real no longer holds much water, but Shinzo Keigo has this incredible ability to transmute some of the rawest forms of communication in our day-to-day world into a comic set piece magnificently. In Chapter 55, after Hiroto and Hideki get into an altercation over the editing of a short film they made and look ready to have a full-blown fist fight, they go outside and play catch. That is how they vent their anger toward each other. That is bromance in its most undiluted form. Never has the dude experience been more accurately represented. Hey, shithead! Hey! The entire manga itself feels more naturalistic than most of its contemporaries. It's amazingly easy to identify it as a product of the 2020s, sometimes to my irritation. They're playing Fortnite and shit on their Nintendo Switchers, both of which are now 8 years old. Man, it feels like just yesterday Onizuka was unboxing his PS2. That was a long time ago.
The best entertainment system to hit the world.
As you can imagine with a manga about a young person attempting to create their own manga, Hirayasumi sometimes delves into the postmodern realm.
Holy shit!
I feel that this is a byproduct of the era we've entered where the barrier to entry for manga artists has never been lower thanks to digital art and online platforms. Meaning the doors have fully opened for more meta-commentary and, dare I say it, deconstruction of pre-existing characteristics native to the slice-of-life genre that Hirayasumi inhabits. It's comparable to the boom of the indie film in the 1990s, as well as the inauguration of pop-savvy auteurs like Tarantula and Kevin Smith into the film industry. Hirayasumi certainly has no misgivings about making a statement here and there about things like the industry it belongs to, genre conventions, and women's rights. But it never strays from its primary focus of telling a sincere story about an assortment of superbly realized characters. I cannot oversell the heart-stabbingly effective pathos that runs through every chapter of this manga like morphine running through the veins of a junkie. Hideki and Tachibana may capture the wave of regrets and disillusionment that comes packaged with growing older, but Natsumi's struggle to mature without falling victim to the soul-crushing traps of maturity is just as, if not even more compelling. Natsumi's quest to debut as a mangaka is fraught with failure. Not only is she consistently unable to appease the demands of her mentor or find the proper motivation to do the things she's supposed to be passionate about to begin with, but she also has to look around and see all her other friends in the art department succeeding at their own projects and then proceed to hide the deep-seated envy and self-hatred consuming her. That is what I believe makes Hirayasumi's characters feel all the more real. The manga is not afraid to put the ugliest sides of its heroes and all the most negative emotions we try our best to suppress on full blast until we have no choice but to address them. We can try to confront these aspects of ourselves alone and avoid tainting our friends' and family's perception of us, which is what Natsumi does in fact do by cutting off her friends and deflecting Hiroto's efforts to include her in his life. But I doubt you need me to reiterate that enduring hardship alone is the worst way to resolve a crisis.
不毛と思われた日常はなんと豊穣な世界だったのか。ありもしないものばかり夢見て自分の足元さえ見てなかったのだ。これは私が選んだ人生、私が望んだ結果である。
Hirayasumi persistently explores detachment and the dangers of distancing yourself in pursuit of protection. Natsumi's first few weeks with Hiroto see her isolate herself and coldly refuse her cousin's hospitality out of a stubborn denial of her own immaturity. While she does outgrow this ungrateful behavior, it's a problem that she'll by no means fully eradicate anytime soon, considering how even the other adults in the story find it challenging to accept companionship and compassion. In their eyes, these gestures of kindness are just pity meant to insult their pride and self-reliance. It's a vicious cycle of turning away from others until eventually you can turn to no one but yourself, who by that point is the only person left for you to blame. We see what these characters are at risk of becoming in the form of the granny, a woman who lived alone, had no family to call upon for comfort, and ultimately passed into her twilight years feeling completely unfulfilled with what she'd done with her life. However, the lesson that her story teaches is that it is absolutely never too late to make up for lost time. Even if it was only for the last few months of her 83 years of existence, spending evenings with Hiroto and forming a friendship with him made Granny feel more alive than she ever did before. Somehow, despite being dead from the very first page, the growth of this old woman is the most captivating arc in all of Hirayasumi. Boy, this sounds depressing as all get out. I don't know if I want to read something that's gonna make me want to kill myself. Well, relax, bucko. This is all just my murky lenses of cynicism making me draw attention to the underlying sadness and what's otherwise a fairly lighthearted comedy. Hirayasumi doesn't refrain from showing how harsh carving a path through the sea of adulthood can be. But it also provides a simple but much needed answer for anyone wondering how that voyage can be made any easier. Slow down. How does Hideki resolve his frustrations with his work? He quits. How does Natsumi deal with her inability to find proper motivation to continue drawing? She takes a break and focuses on having fun. How does Hiroto endure the existential terror of being 30 years old and having no aspirations or goal point in sight? He doesn't. He just lives day by day, appreciating the small comforts life has afforded him, without being in a hurry to figure things out the way everyone else says he should be. There is nothing to gain in the long run by rushing the process of growing up and crippling yourself by trying to carry your own weight toward a goal line that is constantly being pushed forward by society. It isn't a sin to take your time. Allow yourself some respite here and there. Or even throw up your hands and say, "I quit." Throwing in the towel does not always mean accepting failure. Sometimes, it's merely the first step in procuring true happiness.
I should shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, you should shit or get off the pot.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about this thing you have, this inability to improve your station in life.
Some could interpret this as a dangerous message, encouraging young people to drop all their concerns and adopt Hiroto's freer lifestyle that leads to nowhere. But I view it as an uplifting message. Similar to the comforting words of a mother embracing her son who's finally struck up the courage to visit home after trying to make it out on his own. You've worked and suffered for so long, only to be routinely gutted time and time again. But now you're home. You're with the people that love you, and you can take some time to heal. It's not about being lazy or losing sight of what matters. It's about acknowledging your limits and knowing when you need to take it easy. Everyone in Hirayasumi, whether they know it or not, is teaching this lesson to each other through their relationships and interactions. All of them are following different trajectories, but they're all journeying toward that same discovery that life is not something we can control, but something we can mold, something we can adapt to and reshape into what suits us best. Not worrying whether or not we have a solid grip on it by age 30, 36, or 83. We go at our own pace, not afraid of keeping up with everyone or running ahead of them. We'll figure it out eventually, and if we get stuck somewhere along the way, we'll just take a break and enjoy the downtime while it lasts. Hirayasumi is going to be remembered as one of the most celebrated slices of life ever cut before it's over with. So if you still want to hitch a ride on the train before it reaches its final destination, then now's the time to hop on board. I don't really see how you could botch the conclusion to a manga as loose with its narrative as this one. So I'm going to safely say we can expect good old Shinzo to put a nice big bow on this one without too much trouble. Oh fuck. I forgot about the love triangle. Yeah, this part may require some tender steering unless we want to see a train wreck of a romance unfold. Nothing kills a comfy story faster than some cucking. So hopefully Shinzo knows where he's going with this. Personally, I'd rather Tachibana just fuck off and let Hiroto have fun with his new ping pong buddy. Read this thing. Do it. Also, don't forget to check out the rest of Shinzo Keigo's catalog. There's some gold in there. Read Tokyo Alien Brothers. There's a guy getting pissed on in the first chapter.
Piss in your face! Piss in your fucking face!
YouTube. Bet your dreams on YouTube. Finn. Don't bet your dreams on YouTube. Hiroto's a fucking liar. This is a trap.
夕日は暮れる海に溶け出して熱い体を包むよ駆け出した砂